Active Minds kids ask about bats. How do bats get around? 34 questions you need answered now. Written by Roger Generazzo. Illustrated by Greg Harris. Narrated by Psalm Morant. Who are bats? Like dogs, cats, and humans, bats belong to a group of animals called mammals. Like all mammal mothers, bat moms feed their babies milk. Scientists divide bats into two main groups: megabats and microbats. Megabats are usually larger than microbats, and they have better eyesight. Did you know? There are more than 1,000 species or kinds of bats. They make up almost 25% of all types of mammals in the world. Vampire bat, microbat. Are bats as bad as people think? Absolutely not. For centuries, people thought bats were evil creatures that drank blood and carried sickness. A few kinds of bats do create small wounds on cattle and other larger animals. The bats will then lap up a small amount of the animal's blood. Also, some can carry diseases such as rabies. Bats rarely harm people, however. Tube-nosed bat, megabat. Spectacled flying fox, megabat. Spotted bat, microbat. How do bats get around? Bats are the only mammals that can fly. In fact, some bats can only fly. They cannot walk. Bats' wings are made of thin skin that's attached to their furry bodies and feet. Each wing includes 5 fingers, one of which is a claw. Bats' feet also have toes with claws. All of these claws help bats hold onto rocks and branches. Thumb, claw, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, leg, tail. How big are bats? Some kinds of bats, like the giant golden-crowned flying fox, have a wingspan as wide as 6 feet, 2 meters. But there are also tiny bats, like bumblebee bats, with wingspans of only 6 inches, 15 centimeters. That's smaller than the length of a pencil. Bats may weigh less than a penny, or they can weigh as much as 2.2 pounds, 1 kilogram, about the same as a 700-page book. Did you know? The bumblebee bat is the smallest mammal in the world. Great flying fox. Bumblebee bat. Where do bats live? Bats live all over the world, except in places that are always cold. But no matter where they live, bats are nocturnal. That means they move about and search for food mostly at night. During the day, they groom themselves, care for their young, and sleep. Bat facts. Flying mammals. Wings with claws. Range of body colors. Nocturnal. Small, sharp teeth. Tricolored bat. Big brown bat. Little brown bat. Spotted bat. Mexican free-tailed bat. Mexican fishing bat. Spix's disc-winged bat. Vampire bat. Wrinkle-faced bat. Gambian epauletted fruit bat. Do bats use camouflage? Like many timid creatures, bats are colored to blend into their surroundings. Tropical bats that live in the jungle may be brightly colored. Bats that live in colder climates tend to be black, brown, or gray. Horseshoe bat. Egyptian fruit bat. Slit-faced bat. Leaf-nosed bat. Yellow-winged bat. Bumblebee bat. Great flying fox. Eastern tube-nosed bat. What do megabats eat? Megabats usually eat fruits and flower nectar. Such food is plentiful where they live in the tropics of Africa and Asia. Gambian epauletted fruit bat. What do microbats eat? Microbats, on the other hand, feed mostly on insects, spiders, and scorpions. Many of these bats catch insects in their mouths or wings as they fly. A few microbats eat frogs, lizards, and fish. And vampire bats, aided by their razor-sharp teeth, can drink animal blood. Did you know? A single brown bat can catch and eat 1,200 mosquitoes in just 1 hour. Brown bat. Mosquitoes. How do megabats find food? Megabats use their very sharp eyesight and good sense of smell to find food. They even see well at night. The expression blind as a bat doesn't refer to megabats. Mexican fishing bat. How do microbats find food? Most microbats don't have good eyesight. They use a process called echolocation to find meals. A microbat sends out a high-pitched sound through its mouth or nose. The sound is so high that people can't even hear it. The sound bounces off nearby objects and comes back to the bat as echoes. From the echoes, the bat knows what the object is, where it is, and how fast it is moving. Did you know? Mexican fishing bats use echolocation to detect a minnow's fin that is less than half an inch, about 1 centimeter above a pond's surface. Minnows. What do bats live in? Similar kinds of bats live in groups called colonies. The place where the colony lives together is called a roost. Bats may use different roosts during the night to rest, to eat, and to find shelter. Bat roosts. Dark caves. Hollow trees. Small crevices in rocks. Abandoned buildings. Tree branches. Any sheltered place with low light. Little brown bats. How do bats sleep? When sleeping in their roosts, bats hang upside down. The claws on their feet and wings help them hold onto cave ceilings, branches, and other high places. Did you know? In India, one kind of horseshoe bat shares its roost with large porcupines. Ouch! Lyle's flying foxes. Disc-winged bat. Porcupine. What are baby bats called? Baby bats are called pups. Every spring, mother bats give birth to their pups in nursery caves. When mothers leave the cave roost to find food, they usually go without their babies. Did you know? Most female bats have only one pup each year. How do bat moms recognize their pups? When a mother bat returns to the roost after finding food, she finds her baby by its smell and the sounds it makes, even when there are thousands of other babies in the roost. How do bats grow up? Pups grow up very fast. They usually take their first flight when they are 3 weeks old. Pups drink their mother's milk for 6 weeks. Within a couple of months, pups learn how to fly out into the dark night with their mothers to find food. Mexican free-tailed bats. How do bats get through the winter? Many bats live in places where the winter temperature goes below freezing. Different types of bats cope with cold weather in different ways. Some bats escape the cold by migrating or flying to warmer places. It's like taking a vacation in the tropics. Did you know? Mexican free-tailed bats migrate almost 1,000 miles, 1,600 kilometers, from the southwestern United States to central Mexico. Mexican free-tailed bats. Did you know? In hibernation, a bat's heart rate may drop from 400 beats a minute to 25. Hibernating helps the bat store up energy during the winter months. The slower heart rate burns fewer calories, so the bat can go without food for a long time. Do all bats migrate? Some bats do not migrate. Because there is less food to eat in winter, these bats gather in their roosts to sleep or hibernate until warmer weather returns. Hibernation is a kind of deep sleep that many animals, especially mammals, go into during the winter. Bats that live in places where the weather is always warm don't have to migrate or hibernate. Horseshoe bats. How do bats protect themselves? Bats are protected from most animals because they fly at night when other creatures are asleep. Also, bats live in isolated roosts. In their roosts, they hang from high places where animals can't get to them. Bats have few enemies, mainly hawks, owls, and snakes. Snake. How are humans enemies of bats? Sometimes people are bats' worst enemies. Because they fear bats, humans may try to harm or kill them. But people are only in danger if they pick up a sick bat. The animal may bite in self-defense. Do bats live a long time? Because they have few enemies, many bats live a long time. Some have been known to live for more than 30 years. The little brown bat is the world's longest living mammal for its small size, with a lifespan of more than 32 years. Owl. Hawk. Did you know? Pallid bats are immune to the stings of scorpions and centipedes, which they eat. Vampire bats drink a little less than a thimbleful of blood each night. Big brown bats of eastern North America usually give birth to twins. Orphaned flying foxes have been raised by people. The bats become very friendly, snuggling up to their masters and licking their faces. Long-eared bats fold their ears back like accordions when they sleep. Bats are the most important natural enemy of flying insects such as mosquitoes. For example, Mexican free-tailed bats eat close to 40 million pounds, 18 million kilograms, of insects every year. Yes, indeed, bats are fascinating. And if you're lucky enough to live near a cave or forest, you may look up one evening just before dark and catch a glimpse of this marvel of the air, the only mammal that flies.